We continue our look in the Gospel of Matthew, and our perusal through this Gospel now takes us to the end of Matthew chapter 8 and verses 30 to 34. And this is one of my favorite passages in Scripture, and it's not so much about theological insight, it is the picture that we are provided here. I am reading from the New Century Version. Near that place there was a large herd of pigs feeding. The demons begged Jesus, "If you make us lead these men, please send us into that herd of pigs." Jesus said to them, "Go." So the demons left the men and went into the pigs. Then the whole herd rushed down the hill into the lake and were drowned. The herdsmen ran away and went into town, where they told all about this and what had happened to the men who had demons. Then the whole town went out to see Jesus. When they saw him, they begged him to leave their area. To me, this is one of the most memorable events in the ministry of Jesus. And this is not a statement of its importance theologically. It is rather a passage that captures my attention. In a way, I can picture it like some of those old movies set on the Western frontier. In a number of these movies, you have a scene of charging horses or cattle, and the air is thick with the dust generated by the animals. The movie camera switches to a close-up of our hero of the movie, who is in the midst of all of this action and all of this swirl of dust, and you realize that our hero is in complete control. Now, when that is said, I realize that a herd of pigs running down a hill does not have the same stature as a thundering pack of mustangs, and yet that is how I see it. Too often, the Christian faith is presented as a religion of morality. The faith has been made to center on the moral life. Now, we are not saying that morality is not important, but rather, morality is not what makes us Christian. If you take the position that it is a call to be moral and upright, then you will present the faith that way. You will see that the great barrier to faith is to get people to accept the morality of the faith. Now, is the passage before us one in which Jesus was challenging the morality of the people? What Jesus challenged was the status quo. What Jesus challenged was the thinking that everything was fine and nothing needed to be changed. Jesus challenged a spirit of complacency. The great barrier to faith is the status quo. People have too little of a vision for life. What people want is a secure job that can provide the comfortable pension. They want the house on the quiet cul-de-sac where they can raise a family and have a retreat from the world around them. People want to remain in the cultural enclave that they grew up in and which defines and separates them from others. Now look at the church. It's a problem getting people to be moral. How often do people approach the church as something in their life that provides stability and security? It provides a religious status quo. You see, what Jesus wants us to be rescued from is the sloth and complacency that comes from a truncated vision of life. What Jesus wants from us is to begin to grasp the bigger picture. Look at the end of verse 34. To paraphrase the verse, we would say that the people were mad at Jesus for wrecking the status quo. Do you get that? They were not happy with what Jesus did to those men. We cannot say it enough. The issue is not morality. Yes, we understand that some people destroy their lives by a series of debauched escapades. Jesus' ministry got into more trouble with those who did not want Jesus to change the present order of things. Think here of the religious leaders of Jesus' day. Our faith and security must not be in our job or in our family or in our cultural enclave, nor is it to be in our church and our church family. Our faith and security must be in Jesus and Jesus alone. Jesus has no desire to settle for anything less. So is Jesus calling you from the clutches of the status quo this day?